Hey everyone, Tony Mello, Mello Properties team, 508-369-9755. Hope you're all doing well. All right, so part three. It was initially going to be a one-part video, two-part video, and it ended up being a three-part video. So I'm rambling on today about terms that can be added to an offer to help get offers accepted. Obviously, I've got a lot to say because I can't fit them into these 5-minute segments. So I'm going to finish off this. Number two was a new term on the list to try to explain this whole concept. I'm not going to go through the beginning here. You can just look at part two, which explains that. I think I ended up right around here somewhere. I'll pick up from there and then finish up this particular thing. All right. Offering to cover the buyer's agent's costs because the seller traditionally pays the buyer agent for their work. We could now offer to remove that cost to the seller. Go back to part two. That'll explain that, or increase the benefit to the agent. I hadn't gotten to that point yet. So whatever money that the seller doesn't have to pay is a benefit to the seller. Whatever money that the agent doesn't have to pay, that the listing agent retains, is a benefit to the agent. So we're trying to appeal to more the seller than the listing agent, because the listing agent has some duties that they can't really, they are kind of massaging or directing the seller to do certain things. But we're trying to appease the seller and the listing agent, just so that in reality, both as an option. Example, reduce the buyer agent cost to the seller. So, for example, if I was the buyer agent, I'm representing you as the buyer. Reduce the buyer agent cost to the seller. Well, how does that work? Again, I don't want to get too crazy with this because I want to make sure this fits in the video. My commission as the buyer agent is not to the buyer. That's the traditional method. It is to the seller. The listing agent agrees on a commission. From that commission, some goes to the listing agent, some goes to the buyer agent. So now if we in the offer say, all right, you agreed to give me 2.5%, 3%. How about if we now, you either give that 2% or 5% or whatever it is back to the seller, or you, Mr. Listing Agent, you now keep that extra money if you accept our offer, and my buyers are going to be paying me as the buyer agent. All right, so that is kind of the deal. And again, if this is confusing you, it's not making sense, I can copy and paste, send this to you to an email. You can look at it on your screen. We can go one item by one, and kind of talk more about it until things are making sense to you. Reduce the buyer agent cost to the seller to 0.5%, just so that they've got still a little bit, and cover the difference of the 2%. So, for example, if the listing on MLS said, it's a 2.5% or it's a 3% commission to the buyer agent, we would now say, listen, forget that 3%. We'll only take 0.5%, which is money. You know what I mean? Money that they don't have to pay. Money, it's a benefit to them. And then the difference of that 2%, 2.5%, whatever it might be, we'll have to agree on that, will be get paid by you, the buyer. So few different things that is a possibility in here. Again, I don't want to run out of time and make this a fourth video, so I'm trying to be careful with my time here. Bottom line is this. You've got your offer price, which is important, obviously. Everything is going above list price unless it's a complete teardown. If you offer something lower, forget it. It's not going to happen these days. We as agents don't like this market. It is difficult. We're trying to do the right thing for buyers. The listing side is trying to do the right thing for the listing side. So it just is what it is. It's the reality of the market. We're now forced into terms. The money you offer, the down payment you put, the more you put down, the more secure it is, the less likely that you'll leave, the more that more skin in the game that you've got. These terms here are all important, and it's stuff that we have to kind of discuss now with our buyer clients, and come up with a plan ahead of